Hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Good morning. I hope that you are feeling good and caffeinated and you're ready to dive in with me today. My name is Allie, and in this next maybe 20, 30 minutes or so together, what I'll be walking you through is how to use Munch Studio in a way that really supports your brand. Right, so not only running your social media account, but how are we doing that in a way that's really aligned with your branding? Can we customize things to take them across the finish line? Now, if you're new to Munch Studio, one of the most powerful things that I believe in is that you are still in the driver's seat. So while content is being automatically created for you, and you're able to schedule posts to go live and build out your entire month of content all in one spot, all in about 10 minutes, you also are the one that's approving things. You're editing and ultimately taking it across the finish line. So you can be as involved or as little involved as you would like to be. But if you are here, I take it that you are someone that wants to work smart, but you also want something to look good, right? You don't want to just relinquish control, but you need a little bit of support to get you to the results you're looking for even faster. So that's where Munch Studio comes into play. Again, anyone just joining us, my name is Allie, and I'll be here to be your guide. Now, one of the best ways to get the most out of the session, pull up Munch Studio. Do this with me. In fact, throughout this time together, I'm going to be sharing screen throughout most of it. And so you can literally be side by side with me, setting up your brand kit, customizing your content, kind of queuing up your Munch Studio to help you in getting the results that you're looking for, again, faster than ever before. So I'd highly recommend get that pulled up. If you're new to Munch Studio, you can go to munchstudio.com, start a free trial, and I think it only takes maybe like a minute or two to set up. So shouldn't take too much time. You can dive right in beside me throughout this. Now, the other thing that I'd highly recommend is that you use the Q&A button. So there should be a little Q&A button on screen if you've never been part of a Zoom webinar before. You can upvote people's questions if you have the same question or add yours in as well. Now, this is going to be helpful because I want this to be interactive. We're in this, we're live, we're here together. And so use this opportunity to get your questions asked. At the very end, I'll set aside maybe 10 minutes or so, and we can plan to go through those questions together. And I'll even share screen to walk through some of them with you. So hopefully that feels good and you guys are ready to go and learn how to take your Munch Studio to the next level with more concise branding. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll just dive in together. All right. Great. Hopefully you can see my screen. If not, yell at me inside of the Q&A and I'll be sure to stop. We are inside of Munch Studio. So if you've never been in here before and you're one of my friends that are just starting with the trial here, what it's going to be asking you for is your website URL. You put that in and then automatically this content here is going to be generated. Now in this example, I'm using an account called Hiya Health. So it's a kids vitamin company. And so you'll see that all of this is naturally already branded with my logo, the name of my business, the colors, and all of this and the information has been extracted already directly from my website. Now, if you were like, oh, I don't have a website yet, but I have a brand, I have a business, I'm starting here, or I have a personal brand, no worries at all. When you go through that onboarding process, you'll enter that in just a little bit more manually. But the great part is what I'm showing you right now, I've done nothing to generate these results other than to put in the URL of Hiya Health. Okay, pretty cool, right? So you can see how this is already taking you away from Canva or maybe some other type of outsourcing that you've had to do to get content that is already creating an on-brand feeling or an educational feeling, right? So let's go ahead and just click on a couple of these because again, the whole point of what I want to walk you through today is how you can customize this and make it yours. To any of my control freaks in the room, this is for you, okay? So let's go ahead and just choose one, like this one right here. It is a video and it's specifically designed for Facebook. So I told Munch Studio during the onboarding process, I'd really love to be posting across LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Though you're welcome to also select TikTok or YouTube as well. Now we'll see this little video here, which I love, by the way, because I think videos are so much more appealing. They kind of pull you in, and especially with the way that we're consuming content, videos are really eye-catching. So this is already incorporated in, but let's say that we want to change different things like the color or the text. Because, right, all of this is automatically generated for us using the power of AI. But that might not mean that it's exact to your business. So let's say here, it's saying ensure your kids get enough vitamin A, C, D, and zinc this winter for a strong immune system, right? And more context is automatically added in to that caption. So that's super cool. But let's say we want to change the caption and we want to add in vitamin K. So let's go ahead and click on edit here. And this is where we can help in taking it across the finish line. Now, what's really neat as well, if this video isn't landing with you, you can choose other types of videos, pictures, text shapes. You can add audio to this, and you can even pull in your brand kit. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit, how you can set your own up. Now here, I'm skipping ahead in this video because, right, it starts with no text on screen, so I'm skipping ahead. In here, you can see High Health, the name of the business have been brought in, Winter Wellness, which we might want to change to Summer Wellness now that the seasons are changing. But for the sake of this, I just want to show you some quick updates that you can make. We're clicking on anything that we want to make an edit to. In fact, you can click on anything, even drag and drop it to different areas on the screen. We can change different things such as the font size, but let's go ahead and update the text here. So we can change any of this. And in fact, if you get lost at any point when you're inside of Munch Studio and you want to learn more, I've filmed the videos for you. So after this call, I'll be there to help and guiding you throughout the rest of the way. So anytime you see one of these eye icons, go ahead, hover on that, watch the video, and you get to learn more throughout the process. I'll show you where that is in a couple other spots on Munch Studio too, so you know exactly where to go once you get off this call. Now, ensure kids get enough vitamin C. We'll go alphabetically. And there we go. It automatically has saved for us. And now we have the option again, if we want to update anything like the font, we can go ahead and do that here. Or any of the sizing. I think that would be fun. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, that's big. Let's make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to type in a custom font here. There we go. Great. Okay, we can also change different things like having background, like a highlight, adding in a shadow, and also changing where it is on the screen. So essentially like the layering, we can change that as well. Of course, this is our font, so we want this front and centered, but if we want to change where that is, we can do that. That's really nice if you add in any pictures that you'd like to have in the background to make sure you're layering that behind the text. I digress. Let's go ahead and press share, where we have the option to download it or share it to socials. So let's say that I want to share it. I want to post it to Facebook just like it's recommending. We can make any different edits here, like we'll want to add K right into this description as well too. But I love that this is already catered towards Facebook, where we have a little bit longer captions than we might on Instagram. And then if we were publishing this on LinkedIn, for example, it's going to be even longer because that's where we're really adding a ton of value, maybe some statistics, more information there. But let's go ahead and schedule this one to go live. So I'll go ahead and choose Thursday and then schedule this one here. All right. So here you can see this has been automatically added into our planner. Now, my friends that are busy, this is going to be your favorite area because from here you can plan out your entire week all from one spot. So anytime you see any of these white gaps here, you can click on these, choose the content that you would like, and schedule that to be posted. It's pretty cool, right? Now, I'm going to help my friends here at Munch Studio by deleting these posts so they don't actually go live, and you see that on our Instagram and Facebook. But I did want to show you how easy that is to really jump in here and start to plop in different types of content. Another way that I really like to operate this is by going to this explore page, exactly where we started, and saving my favorite content, right? We're choosing some of our favorites. So picture this like your own social media, right? You're going through and you're liking the different types of kind of outlines and different types of content that's been created for you to share. This is so cute. Oops. So go ahead and click share or save here. Then when you navigate over to your planner, you can filter through your saved content. And these are ready for you to share directly from this. So it kind of has that addictive feeling of scrolling, picking your favorites, and then, by the way, you get to put it into action later on and make any edits that really make this content feel like you, feel like your information and your brands. Now, another thing I want to show you on the Explore page here Oh, there's another eye icon. Is that you can always add in more content. So you can click on Quick Post if you just want this to kind of have a refresh. You're like, okay, I want to see new ideas, maybe some new templates and structure for my brands. You can go ahead and click on that in just about a minute's time. It's going to refresh this page. So you're not limited at the, 100 or so that it gives you. You can keep on refreshing by clicking on Quick Post to see new content. Now, the whole point of this session today is to talk about how to tailor it, how to customize your content. And so that's why I really want to point out this area here. If there's something really specific that you would like to see, you can click on Tailor Post to Your Vision, and this puts you in the driver's seat to say, I want to showcase the importance of vitamin K. Then the majority of the content, once you press on generate, will be all about vitamin K. And then when you're ready to go back to kind of more, a bigger variety of content, go ahead, click add content, and then quick post to generate more like this. All right, so let's talk about how we can tailor this even further. And where I want to spend a lot of time with you today is inside of our brand settings. That's because this is the area where you're telling Munch Studio what you'd like to see more of or even less of. I like to call this area your brains, but you can also think of it as your social media manager. This is your team right here, baby. You can go to this and give it different feedback. Hey, I noticed that posts with bright colors are doing better. I want to make sure to eliminate anything that can be scary to a child. I want to have less adult content, and I want to showcase more kids out in the garden, running around, etc. So, this is where you're going to it and telling it what you would like to see more of and less of. And where you'll do that is right here inside of the business description. Now, my friends, this business description has been automatically generated for us, but this is something you can always come back to. This might end up 5 paragraphs long. If you're someone that really wants to tighten the results that you're getting, jump right in here and help Munch Studio to learn that. Now, every time that content is going to be generated, it's going to look at the business description and the problem that your business solves before creating that content for you. So that's how this is really operating like your brains. Now, let's pop into identity because I think this is really fun too. Now, automatically, it's scrubbed the website for these logos, so they've automatically been added in. But if you want to add a logo or change anything here, you can always do that. Like I have this one, I'll go ahead and upload. Now you can also change your font too. If you are used to having a specific font, again, we want this to be like our social media manager. And so you would give your social media manager the font, your brand kit, the logos. You're providing them with that information so they can use that ongoing. So you're welcome to leave it as a default, or you can choose some of your favorite fonts here. Like we'll go with this one, for example, and then you can even type in, like I know that I want DM Sans. And so you can go ahead and select that here. So the titles, the call to actions, kind of that bigger stuff is going to be this fun text. And then we have a cleaner text that's going to be maybe like more subtitle related. Okay, we also have our brand colors here. So the best thing is if you know your hex code, you can go ahead and just type that directly in here. Otherwise, you kind of have to click on some different colors, like let's select orange and navigate something that feels like your brand. But again, if you have a brand kit already that you want to be utilizing, go ahead, paste your hex code directly in this. Okay, so let's change that. We're making it this brighter orange feel. You can also change your brand tone. Now, this is something I think that Munch Studio does a really good job of, is automatically selecting this. It's looking at your website and the way that you're talking, what your authority is like, and then it's going to match that for all of your content too. But if you're like, oh, I got it all wrong, we actually lean minimal. Or, hey, let's add in playful and creative because I think this brand kind of does have that tone. What's neat too is if you're not posting in English and there's different languages, you have a selection to choose from here. And then you can also choose that you want to reach a global audience. Now, this is local to you to the US in this scenario. So I'm going to leave it as is. What's great is this has automatically been saved for us. And so now moving forward, our content is going to be reflecting this. Might take 5 to 10 minutes to kick in, but then it's going to go through this every single time. Now let's also talk about project brand kits, because you might be someone that's like nailed your identity, you've nailed kind of that overview in the description of your business. But project brand kits is something that's new, so I want to lean into that with you now. Now, your brand kit, specifically your project brand kit, this is where it's going to come in. We have an area called projects. It's over here on this left-hand side. And inside of projects, you can upload different things like videos. Actually, this is your video area. When you create a new project here, you have the option to upload long form video content and have short little bite-sized clips created that are ready for you to post on social media. You can also resize your video, you can add captions to it, music, subtitles, or even create a post directly from your blog. So this projects area is really great for repurposing. You're repurposing that content. And again, it really leans into that video content too. We'll spend some time in this area in just a little bit because basically your brand kit is going to be incorporated inside of this. So let's jump back to our brand settings, pick up right where we left off at that project brand kit, and let's build a brand kit together. Now, before we do that, I do want to share this is completely optional. So there might be some elements of this that you actually don't need or don't have. And if that's the case, don't worry at all. It's just like that planner we saw earlier with all the little white boxes for you to fill in your content. Does it mean you have to fill in every single day's content? Absolutely not. But it allows you the ability to schedule all of that out. It allows you the ability to customize even further here and to use this every single time. Now, this first option here inside of our brand kit, we have three. Our visual overlay. This is where you can add an image or a logo on top of your projects. Now, you'll toggle this on per project, or you can choose to apply it to all. So our brand here is Haya Health in this example. So do we want Haya Health to be on our videos? Do we want that option to be able to be toggled on? Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. So we'll do that here. I'll go ahead and upload the logo we played with earlier. And then you also have the option to choose the positioning of it. So let's play with that for a little bit. What I love is that Munch Studio really outlines these safe zones. So if you know you want to be posting across TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, etc., it's going to be outlining like what are the no-no areas where you should not be having different things like text or logos. But really, let's choose all. This is kind of a general area. And it's automatically defaulting it to the top left corner. Now, I actually really agree with that. That's where I'll keep this, but you can move this around and put it wherever you'd like. All right, now here's another option, visual overlay timing. Do you want that logo to pop up at the beginning, the first half, the last little 15%, or always? I'll use always just in this example, so it's just always staying on that screen. Now remember to press save whenever you're hanging out in this area. But let's edit this even further. Do we want to have an intro before every single video that plays to add just kind of like a template? I don't think so with an intro because I'm a big fan of having like a hook and like catching people and reeling them in. Sometimes I think just your brand on a screen doesn't do that. But if we want something uniform, we might want to go with an outro. Or maybe you're an intro person, no judgment here. But let's go ahead and add in some media. I created this super quick end screen that I'll show you in just a moment, but it's just this fast kind of animation that can play at the very end. And you can choose what duration you want that to play for, but this is like a 4-second clip, so I'm good with the full duration. And let's press save. All right, now you can see here you can create new kits throughout this too, or choose to apply to every single project. I like to choose kind of per project, but if you want that uniformness, you can go ahead and toggle that on. So let's go ahead and close out of this and put that into use. So let's jump back into our projects area. We'll see I uploaded this video earlier today talking about vitamins. Now, just so you know, this I think was like a 3-minute long clip, and it generated 12 different pieces of content for me to be posted on social media. It's taking the best little parts of this video and making it social media friendly because the algorithm isn't so into 3-minute long videos. Maybe, but listen, you could upload a 30-minute long video, an hour long video. 4-hour long is the max here. So you can upload these videos and then have Munch handle the rest. So let's go ahead and choose this one here. It's rated this one as excellent, and it's already written the description or the caption for us. Now we have the option to preview this here.
Fall too often is gelatin
But let's go ahead and dive straight into the edit because this is where we're going to hang out together. Now, just like I showed you with your quick posts, where you can take them across the finish line, is I think the word I used. Um, you're tailoring, you're customizing, you're changing different things like the style, the even the template of these captions. So I could jump into something like this, or this one's fun too. There we go. Okay, so let's say that I change it to this. And I can jump in here too. If anything doesn't feel correct, or I want to use capital letters, or so on and so on, you can change any of this text. Like this, I'll go ahead and erase. Boop. You can erase or you can change this text again. Great. You'll also have the option here to automatically have the silences removed. So if you are someone that kind of maybe has some pauses in your video that you'd like to be cut out, just to keep it short and snappy, you can choose to turn that off as well. Okay, so again, you can add in videos, images, text if you want anything overlaid on the screen, shapes, and even audio. So you'll notice that there's music behind this video. Let's look at that again.
Gummy vitamins. Those are so messy and they're also not good. They don't have a good nutrition factor to you.
Okay, let me see. One thing I want to change about this is I want this to be centered. You can kind of see it was like hanging off to the left. So just wanted to update that real quickly. So with that audio, you heard the music in the background. You can choose to turn that down. You can choose to change it to another royalty-free sound, or you can upload your own music. Now let's dive into that brand kit and then I'll turn it back to you guys. So this is your warning call. Put any questions inside of that Q&A box and we'll get to that next. Now from here we can choose to turn on our brand kit. Then automatically in the left-hand corner, there's our logo, just like we requested it. And then we have this outro that's planned to play too. So let me skip ahead in this video so you can see how that kind of fits onto that very ending.
Long-term dental issues. So I would opt.
Boop. There we go. And you know what? I want to cut this in a little bit.
So
Cut it in a little bit more.
long-term dental issues. So
I'm really bad at cutting it in. Let me try it one more time. There we go. Dental issues.
So
All right. You get the point here. So that's automatically being added on to the very end for us. Now, it doesn't have to be a video. That's why I uploaded here. It could also be a picture or something like that too. Okay, so, oh, another thing that I want to point out is these magic captions because I think this is really fascinating. Again, it's already been written for you. You have a post title, which is great because TikTok normally asks for those. We can switch to Instagram. You'll see that this description changes a little bit for us. And then you can also choose whether you want a really short description here, medium, or something that's longer with a little bit more information. Now we can go ahead and choose to schedule this, share to socials, choose our favorite time, or customize the time we'd like to see that go live. I'll go ahead and choose Saturday and schedule this one here. Now again, my friends, I am going to go ahead and delete that one so it doesn't accidentally publish, but I want to show you how that brings you right back to that planner again. Okay, that has been enough from me. Let me go ahead and check out this little Q&A area and see any questions that you're coming through. Becky asked a really great question. Did Munch Studio and Get Munch merge? Becky, I can tell you've been a long time user, so you've seen both of the platforms, and that's a great call out. Absolutely, it has merged. So before, Munch Studio only used to be around, photos and kind of these aesthetic looking videos like the winter one that we looked at earlier. And then Get Munch really is that projects area where you can create or turn these long form videos into these short bite-sized pieces. So now it's amazing everything is available inside of one platform. This is also really great because now that TikTok and YouTube are connected, those are video platforms, right? They're highly video favored. And so using the projects area, you can start to tailor content specifically for those platforms too, uploading your own videos and tailoring it from there. All right, that was the only question that I was seeing. Let me know. I just want to show you guys one more thing that I feel like is super important before we leave this call. But if you do have any more questions, feel free to add them in. So let me share my screen once more for you. And the area that I want to point out is this integrations area. Now, this is the secret sauce. This is where the magic happens. Because, like I showed you earlier inside of that planner, we're scheduling things to go live. But if there's no account connected, if we don't have our Instagram, our Facebook, our LinkedIn, our YouTube, our TikTok connected, then those posts can never actually truly be published and they're going to fall flat. So you'll want to make sure that these are connected. And there's a helpful video right here that walks you through exactly how to do that. So your homework for today is to build out your brand kit. Now, if you don't dream of having a logo or a end video on your project, you don't have to worry about that. If you can jump in and do this, and if you do have the ability to upload logos, choose your font, I'd highly recommend. But if nothing else, jump into this overview here and add a little bit more context and information around what you would like to see. I want Munch Studio to work for you and work well for you. And so make sure that you're taking the time to do that and customize it even further if you're looking for better, more streamlined results. So that is your number one homework. But if you haven't yet, that second homework that I'd highly recommend for you is to connect your accounts. Maybe you'll start with one. You don't have to do all of them. Oh, and a great question, Becky, too, asked about insights. That's a great transition, Becky, because once you have your accounts connected through this integrations area, not only can you publish, but you can also see insights from how those posts are performing. So if we go into the insights area, you'll notice if I had more connected, I have Instagram and Facebook connected. Oh, and LinkedIn's coming soon. But if you have more platforms connected, you can see all of these insights from this one singular dashboard. Now, from here, you can also see what kind of span of time you want to be looking at for your data. Like, let's take a look at the last 90 days so we can see how things have gone up or gone down. You can see that across the reach, the engagement, how many people are liking, sharing, saving your post, and even your followers. Here's a daily view at how that's been performing too. Now, as we scroll down below, you'll see all of the posts that have been published within that time frame. So in this case, within 90 days. And you'll see at the very beginning which ones have gotten the most views. And these are kind of tapered off by how many views they've had. But if you want to sort by something else, like likes, for example, or even a specific platform, we'll choose Instagram in this case, you can tailor that, like you can choose what specifically you'd like to see. And these insights really inform you and they give you that education to know what type of content people are resonating with. Is it videos? Is it pictures? Is it educational content versus something a little bit more humorous, which is what I saw inside of Munch Studio's account. So again, that insights is going to be one spot where you can go to see all of that data and inform your decisions. Maybe you'll even go back to those brand settings and tell it what's working so that way it can help you in generating more. All right, everybody, we are just at time, but I want to appreciate or tell you how much I appreciate you for jumping on with me today. I hope that you learned a new tool and a new way to use Munch Studio so you can go and make an even more powerful brand and social media presence. So again, if you're just getting started here, you can go to munchstudio.com to set up your account. It takes only a couple of minutes, and then go ahead and add into it from there and pour into Munch Studio. All right. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.